You guys have been pretty good on fourth down this year and fairly aggressive about going for it. What's been kind of the key to those plays being as successful as they have, and what is your philosophy a little bit in terms of when you want to be aggressive in that situation?
Yeah, I think it's, we talk about it. You can look at some statistical analysis of, trying to go for it or punting or where you are in the field and all that. I think a lot of it, you take all that out of it, a lot of it comes down to feel and, what do we have to get? And do we have something that we really feel good about? And do we need it? Where are we in the game? We need some momentum. A lot of it is, it's about that, creating momentum. If you can get this, then you're going to have momentum on your side, and hopefully that's going to finish in the end zone or a score of some kind. But I don't know if there's anything after, talking about it. Statistically, you sit there and just say, this is what we do. It comes down to, we feel good about it. Hey, we got to play. Sometimes in a certain area of the field, hey, you got 2 downs, so we're really working for a 4th down call to get it. And our guys also know, if it's 4th and manageable, and we have a chance and we feel good about it that week in our prep, then we'll probably go for it. If we don't make a play or get close, we're not going to do that. Then we will punt or try a field goal, whatever that is. But it just comes down to feel, and our guys have done a good job with that. I think 4th down plays have a lot to do with just players. That's one of those where everybody wants it. They're calling for it. We got to go out and actually execute it. You can't just call for it and not execute it. And we've done that too. We did it a few times this year. We've called for it and felt it and got stuffed. And that's also a momentum changer the other way. So it's just a matter of where we at in the game. What's the feel? Can we get it done? And how are we playing?
In that game on Saturday, Mexico only completed 4 passes, but one of them was an 86-yard touchdown that ended up being a big play in the game. And the corner, I guess, got bit a little. How hard is that for those corners to kind of run, and then the one time they kind of lean, they aren't paying attention?
Yeah, it gets hard. I mean, that's part of doing your job. You're talking about 4 throws a game. You might be playing 60 snaps, and you're not getting anything. You want to get on the action. All of a sudden, the eyes go inside to try to get into a run fit of some kind, and that guy's he's running by you. So it's just, it comes back to the discipline. Do your job. Do your part. If somebody bounces outside and they get to you, that means somebody inside didn't do their job. Hopefully you can save a touchdown or a big play. But I really think it comes down to that. And, for those outside guys, you need to pay attention to that because they can throw it. And that was a game changer, and it was an explosive, huge play in the game. So it just comes back to the same things for them. Do your job.
With the week off, you have players that are hurt and back now?
Nobody hurt. Not anything that I haven't said. And the guys that have missed a little bit, hopefully we get them back this week. We'll see. We'll see on that there. But the other guys I mentioned too, the surgery guys, we're not expecting those guys to be back yet.
Kind of a philosophical question here on instant replay with the Duke-Miami game, Nebraska-Michigan State game, and 7, 8, 9-minute pauses in the game. How do you feel about instant replay, and in your mind, has it been successful?
I think it's been successful. If you're talking about the time it takes, I don't know. What you want is you want them to get it right. I don't know if, I think for fans and people watching the game, it can be frustrating, the amount of time, because I watch games on TV, and it's pretty obvious on TV, what you're looking at. I don't always know if that's the same camera angles they have up there. And that's one of the things I don't know if everybody takes into consideration. Maybe they do. And it looks clear that should be the call, but I also think they're disputing maybe a call on the field. And you've also got to take into, well, we didn't see it that way. I know what you're seeing. We can't overturn it. So I think those conversations have to be had. Ultimately, it just needs to be right, because you're talking about wins and losses and big plays in games. So to me, the time, I'd rather have them take their time and get it right than hurry up and get it wrong. What frustrates you is when they take their time and get it wrong. That's the double whammy, right? So, if that happens, yeah, everybody's frustrated with that.
With I know that you obviously know the history of this program and whatnot, and understand the tradition. Is it cool to see certain guys follow in the footsteps of their mentors? Like Jeremy McNichols is obviously, attempting to fill the shoes of Jay, and Thomas has talked a number of times how he used to look up to Matt. And if you talk with Brett, I mean, he gave you a pretty good synopsis of the history of the quarterback position here at Boise State. But is it cool to see those guys kind of start to fill those shoes, both statistically and responsibility-wise, and carry on tradition here?
Yeah, statistically, the good players, you like to see that. If they're carrying on that tradition, it means you're doing well, and you've got another group of good players. I think, that's obviously, good for us as coaches and all that. I think it's more for the players. Those guys, probably a lot of them came to Boise State because of certain players, or they got hosted by them, or they watched them on TV, and we've had good players here. And so those guys that do come here and have a chance to be in that position, I think there's a sense of pride, and I think there's also a sense of carrying on and maybe, hopefully being better than somebody that you're replacing or that you followed or looked up to. But the one thing on the reverse side, I think our guys that have played here do a great job of continuing to give back to the players that are here. Jay comes back and travels with us to Colorado State. Matt Miller's obviously here working with us. And so, we have a lot of players that come back here, and they go to their position group, or they go to guys they hosted, or they go to guys that are playing their position, and they talk to them. I think that's the difference. It's just that sense of family. We talk about it here, but even when you leave, you're still a part of this. And I think that shows, and I think guys respect that, and it gets them excited because Jay's tweeting J-Mac and, different things like that. It's pretty cool. That's part of what this, program's about.
Forgot to ask after the UNLV game about Mercy and why he wasn't there, and what his status would be this week. And then season's almost over here, and we still haven't heard anything on Antoine Turner. Is there any update on it? His status, is he with you guys at all?
Mercy will be playing in this game. That was discipline within the team is why he didn't play in that game. But he is good and will be available to play. Antoine, not a complete finalized, but no, he's not with us or playing at this point, and most likely won't be. So that's where we are on that. And then what were you asking me?
That was it.
Besides that, those two questions.
Jeremy, big second half at UNLV, was that a response to his first half and sitting one possession on the fumble, or was that just Jeremy being Jeremy?
I think both. I think it was a combination, too, of, our offense doing a better job in the run game and being able to open it up a little bit in the second half. It was a combination of all those things. You don't want to put the ball on the ground. That's motivation when you do. So I'm sure there was some of that in the second half for him. But UNLV did a good job in the first half against the run. That was something we actually called. We had a few run plays in there, but we ended up throwing it and doing some different things, which probably would have been good runs. It's just how they played us. So it was just a back and forth of how they were going to play the box and how they were going to play the run. And in the second half, it was a little bit different. That's why some of the passing game, we had big yards throwing the ball, but it also helped the run game.
Yeah, after that game, we talked to you a little bit about it, but now you've been able to kind of look more at it. Those tight ends got involved quite a bit, multiple of them too.
Mm-hmm.
How big is that for you guys? When you can get those guys involved, and it seems like just, again, we were just talking about opening things up. It seems like that gives you a lot more options too, especially down the middle of the field. Yeah,
absolutely. Love the tight ends. That's a position we use. It's something we believe in, and we'll continue that. We've got some good tight ends here. And so when we can find opportunities to get them the ball, also you have a guy like Jake Rowe making a spectacular catch on a corner route. You get Holden Huff in the mix. It helps you, and that's one of the things too. I thought we did a good job of getting the ball to a lot of different players in the game. And when you do that, I think that's one formula that you make yourself really hard to defend. When your tight ends are productive, tailbacks are productive, wide receivers are productive, your quarterback's able to do a little something running the ball, it makes it difficult. But the tight ends, absolutely. They give us a lot of variety in what we do, and they can run, block, and be physical in there as well. So when you have that combination, I think that's why you see a lot of teams in the NFL. When you have great tight ends, those guys stand out, and I think we've got some pretty good ones here.
You mentioned getting out and recruiting this weekend. And I know folks say when you have a season like when you win the Fiesta Bowl last year, the following recruiting class where you see the biggest jump from that, maybe not the one where it's a month away. I'm just wondering, I know you can't speak specifically on recruits, but you got a decent number of commits at this point. How do you feel like this class is coming together, and just where you guys are at recruiting-wise and the response you're getting from players?
Yeah, I think recruiting has gone well. I think the response has been very good. I think our coaches, another year into it, together, I think we have a better formula of guys we're evaluating and what we're trying to get. But, I think Boise State's brand, and not just, from last year's Fiesta Bowl, but over the course of the past few years, kids are excited about it. And when they have an opportunity to come here and see what this place has to offer when it comes to the total package, then, I think that's the biggest key ingredient. But the success obviously helps, and, this year we've been excited about where we're at. There's still a long ways to go. It's like the season. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself in the recruiting department, but we're happy where we are right now. We really like the guys that we've been talking to.
Tyler's obviously put a nice spotlight on special teams this year with his kicking, but you look at the rest of special teams, and he is the last in the league in net punting, and 10th, 9th, or 10th in punt returns and kickoff returns, and that was an emphasis coming into the year. Are you disappointed at all that you guys haven't been more productive in that area?
Well, I think if you look at the stats, yes. If you look at what we've done and what we've had to do, obviously the return for a touchdown didn't help. You start the year off that way, that hurts you right away. But what we've asked Sean to do, what we've asked Tyler to do, those guys have done it. Has it been, at the very best we've wanted? No. But I also think that's kind of been, with our team. I wouldn't say that they're an exception by any means. They've done their job. They've done it well. They've done what we've asked them to do. I think statistically in special teams, you can get a little bit messed up if that's all you pay attention to. If I paid attention to only that, then we'd be driving ourselves crazy. But what are we really trying to accomplish each time? Red zone punt, backed up punt, whatever it is. We really look at it like that. Statistically, yes, we want to be better. Ultimately, I think those guys, and as of late, have done a pretty good job.
Look again, just the bye week. Now that you can look back at it, how tough was it to go through the first 9 weeks of the season without a bye? And one play that kind of strikes me was Thomas Spurbeck's last catch. You kind of see him peeling himself up off the ground. You learn about the true toughness of some of your players during a stretch like that, and then how favorable is it now for the rest of the season, because you got a bye going into two of your biggest games, and they're going to be here on the blue.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everybody assumes that your guys are going to be tired. I don't know if I believe that or not. I think it's a mentality. I really do. I think there's been years where there weren't buys as well back in the day. So it's all about what your mindset is. If you're going out there ready to play, if you're looking forward to a bye week, you're probably in the wrong mindset. It's going to happen whenever it happens. And we have guys that have come in and filled for some of the starters that have played well. Sean Monster came in and played well. Killian Butler, we've gotten him more opportunities, has played well. A.J. Richardson has played well. I mean, there's guys that have come in and played with certain guys being out. To me, it's all a mindset. I still don't know how it helps us at this point yet. We have to figure that out. We got to go play a game. Some of our guys got to go home and see their families. That helps, when they get a chance to do that. I don't know if that's a physical thing. That's probably a mental thing. They got to see some family. They got to go home. They got a couple days off. They got to watch football. That's a good thing. And Sunday night, there was great energy. I fully expect tomorrow's practice to be better than it's ever been. But, where the bye week falls and all that, I think it's a mindset, and it has to be that way. And, we don't make excuses for what's happened because we didn't have a bye week or anything like that. We're playing the season. We got to finish it up. We got a game this week, and that's all we're focused on.
All right, guys.
Thank you.